Give us your emotion. How are you feeling now that Jose Mourinho has been sacked?
Well, I mean, I don't think Manchester's crying for Mourinho. I think it's crying tears of joy. It is the most wonderful time of the year. Christmas is coming and we can feast. I mean, look, to be honest, I want to say I've heard some people being quite disrespectful to Jose Mourinho, saying he's not a nice person, this, that and the other. We don't know that. Unless you've met him, you don't know that. He's Manchester United manager no more. That's the best thing for Manchester United fans. And I think we need to stay classy. We've got what we wanted. We've got what we needed. It's about that club behind there. It's about, you know, the Busby babes, Sir Matt Busby, Sir Alex Ferguson. That's what Manchester United's all about. And Jose Mourinho was never, ever going to turn this around. He needed to go. I wanted him as manager. He guaranteed a title in the first 2 years. That's what he did at every club. But I think Jose Mourinho's a bit like a Sega Master System. He's had his day. It's all about PlayStations and Xboxes now. And that's your Pochettino. That's your Pep. That's maybe your Zidane. Who knows? But the reality is I think we've got winnable games. We've got Cardiff, we've got Huddersfield, we've got Bournemouth, we've got Newcastle, we've got Reading. We've got games to win. And I think if Jose Mourinho had been given those games, it would have been unfair, because that's not why he's losing his job. He's losing his job because any manager should lose a job when they go to Anfield and they put up such a weak performance like that. And I think the club sent a big statement. If you are Manchester United manager, it's unacceptable to allow Liverpool to get 3 easy points. It's unacceptable to Liverpool to basically be doing what Manchester United used to do. You know, young players coming through, British talent, good signings, a manager that's passionate. That's Manchester United. They're using the Manchester United model, and we are using the Stoke 2009 model. But no more. It's gone. It's over. It's right. I'm happy. Jose Mourinho, I'll respect your Wikipedia page forever, but Manchester United has got a new page to turn, and I'm happy. I'm very happy, and I hope everybody else is.
Do you think now was the right time, or should it have been a lot earlier?
I personally think they should have done it on Newcastle. You know, God knows why they changed their mind. There's been enough bad results. Maybe after the derby, if you think about it, you know, recently we've drawn with Palace here, we've drawn with Arsenal, we've drawn with Southampton. Maybe that's another 6 points we could have had. Can we get top four anymore? Probably not. But I don't think we care. I think the reality is this has been done 5 months earlier than many of us expected. A lot of people want to criticise the board. They've done something I didn't think they were going to do. So I'm very, very pleased with what's happened with Manchester United. And I think now you'll see positivity. We don't want to be Arsenal. We don't want to be moaning about Mourinho like they moaned about Wenger. We're patient. We accept that there's a rebuild to come. But I think the fan base is now going to be united instead of divided, and I'm really excited about what we can do, because those players are going to be 50, 60, 70% better. The crowd's going to be behind them, and United are a very powerful force when they are united.
And when did you lose your trust in him? You mentioned there that you wanted him when he first came, but when did you think, no way, Jose?
To be honest, it was this season. I'm probably one of the people that backed him a lot longer than most. A lot of people sort of gave up after Sevilla. They gave up after Sevilla. For me, it was West Ham. Loads of people on the United stand got a lot of sticks sticking by Mourinho, and but I did stick by with him till the West Ham game. I thought the season started badly. The US tour was a disgrace, and the style of football has always been the thing for me. I thought he would change. Many people said he wouldn't change. He didn't change. And I think there's some things that the club need to change now, whether you're caretaker manager or not. I think Marouane Fellaini, unfortunately, symbolises what Manchester United isn't. He needs to not be in a Manchester United shirt anymore. Matic needs to be moved on. Lukaku needs to be benched. You know, Mason Greenwood scored a hat-trick for the youth team yesterday against a very good Chelsea side. 17, 18, 19, whatever. Those players should be in the first team. We've got a striker who has got the touch of a brick wall. And we've got young players who can come in and do a good job. We've got 5 months now. This season's a write-off. We've got 5 months now. We should use it to start getting the fans back on board, to start playing the United way. And maybe we will lose games. We're not a great team. We need to buy players. But maybe we'll lose games in the right way, and the players will get behind the team, and the fans certainly will.
You mentioned a few players there. Mourinho spent upwards of 400 million. He's had 5 transfer windows. Who do you think has been his worst signing?
I think Mourinho's worst signing, I mean, some people will say Pogba. I'm a big Pogba fan. I think we're going to get to see the real Pogba now, and maybe he won't be good enough and maybe we'll move him on, but under a more attacking manager. But his worst signing for me, I think the Lukaku signing. Last season he scored 27 goals. I think Matic. I know a lot of people will say other players, but I think Matic is the signing for me. And Mourinho he's dug his grave so many times, he's resurrected himself so many times, but Matic in the modern game is a CDM centre defensive midfielder that just is redundant. He is Jurassic Park. He is slow. He is static Matic. And you look at someone like a Fabinho or a Kante or someone like that, you need energy. You need someone who can get the ball off the back four and move the ball forward. And Matic, for me, was a shocking signing that symbolised very much what Jose Mourinho's imprint was at Manchester United. Slow, lethargic and stuck in the past.
So what do you make of Mourinho's reign? He won the treble in his first season. Arguably he's won more than Klopp has. What do you make of his reign and his early success?
Well, for one, it's not a treble, and I think anybody who ever called it a treble is not a United fan. That's not a treble. I mean, Liverpool tried to claim one of those in 2001. There's only one treble, and that's the one we won in '99. Mourinho lowered the standards at this club, and many fans got fed up of that because I think, as I said before, we can accept losing games of football. But if you lose in the right way, with the right attitude, then the fans, they'll support the team. And many fans did support Mourinho, and he should come out and thank the fans. I worry now with Mourinho that the ego that we've seen is that we're probably going to have 2 years of him digging the club out. I didn't get this, I didn't get that. For me, I think he got enough. I think he had enough time. I think he got more time than he deserved. His legacy here will be similar to Chelsea, but without a Premier League title. It will be one of failure that ended badly, and I think that's unfortunate. I've got nothing against him. I've got nothing against Jose Mourinho at all, but his legacy at United, it's not going to be a good one. He won us Europa League, first time we've ever won the UEFA Cup, but everything was second rate and it never went the way it was meant to go. I remember the promises he made when he first came in. There was a lot of excitement, and very few of those promises, whether it's his list of youth players, whether it's the good football, whether it's the lack of injuries, the signings as well. I think he's failed on many levels, and it's very, very sad because we've wasted another 2 years, but football moves on, will move on. And I'm sure Jose Mourinho will move on. He's driving home for Christmas with £25 million in his pocket. So, he's a winner as well. He don't have to live in a hotel anymore.
And how do you think Pogba's going to be taking this news? Do you think he'll be dancing on Instagram very shortly?
Pogba's an interesting one. He does divide opinion. There's still people very unhappy with Paul Pogba, and I think all eyes are on Paul Pogba. Look, we cannot put everything on Jose Mourinho. I think it's step one. I do agree with people like Gary Neville that there are bigger problems at the club. I applaud the board for making this decision. I didn't think they were going to do it so early, so that's very, very good. But in relation to Paul Pogba, all eyes on Paul Pogba now. I mean, I think that he is obviously going to be very happy. I think he's just put something out on Instagram, surprise, surprise. That will probably irritate some United fans. There are some United fans who don't rate Paul Pogba. I do rate him. I think he deserved an opportunity under a manager that probably plays a little bit more expansive. But to be honest with you, if he fails and he's inconsistent under a new manager, then he needs to go. I agree with Roy Keane. We've sold him before. We can sell him again. We need consistency. We need passion in the shirt. Pogba deserved another chance. If he doesn't do it under a new manager, then he needs to go. So all eyes on Pogba now.
Looking forward, the club have said Michael Carrick can be taken over for the rest of the season. How do you see the rest of the season going?
I think it's a gimme. I think it's 5 months to have a look at the youth, have a look at what we've got, and set it up for the next manager so that the next manager doesn't need to come in, take their time, assess things. I think decisions could be made. There's plenty of players who need new contracts. There's plenty of players waiting to sign new contracts. I think the caretaker manager job's really important. Identity is massive. But I think if the next 5 months we can play good football, I mean, imagine if we win the next 5 games, we're into the next round of the FA Cup, we take 12 points, we're still going to not be in the top 4 because that is probably unachievable. But I'd rather be in this situation that we are, where there's a little bit of freedom, there's a little bit of positivity. Let's go and see what we can do, because the one thing I would say about the United fan base is we are patient. If it's done the right way, we will be patient. We've had 6 years of wrong appointments, so let's see what we can do in the next 6 months.
And who does Mark Goldbridge want as the new manager of Manchester United?
I think Zinedine Zidane is probably the one I would go with. 3 Champions Leagues at Real Madrid is not easy to achieve. However, the fact that we're waiting 6 months, by the looks of it, with a caretaker manager, suggests to me that we're looking at somebody who's not available. So that would count out Zidane, Jardim, Laurent Blanc. Antonio Conte is a big no to me. He's just another Chelsea reject, pragmatic, argumentative man. So Pochettino's the one that I think the club might be looking at. There was rumours that we wanted Pochettino around the time we got Mourinho, and now he's not going to leave Spurs, but in the summer maybe he would. So I would get my money on Pochettino at the moment, and I'd still prefer Zidane. I think he's available and we should go for the best, but I wouldn't be disappointed with Pochettino.
Finally, down the barrel of the camera, have you got a message for Mr. Mourinho ahead of Christmas?
Look, you've got a lot of money. You've got a brilliant Wikipedia page. I don't think you should manage a club in the Premier League again because football's moved on. You're not always a great manager, and very few people get to walk out of football like Sir Alex Ferguson did at the top. Arsene Wenger managed the Invincibles. He won Premier Leagues and he walked out a failure. Jose Mourinho walks out a failure of Manchester United just like he did at Chelsea. But as I said at the start, Manchester United is a classy club. Mourinho is gone. We've got what we wanted. We don't need to call him names. We don't need to be anti-Mourinho anymore. We've got what we want and our club moves on. Jose Mourinho is just another dot in the history of this football club. I fear that Jose Mourinho will come out and be quite negative about United because he's an excuse man. But until he does that, we act with class. We've got what we want. And I wish Jose Mourinho all the best because he's not Manchester United manager anymore and he cannot mess up our football club anymore. So I wish him all the best.